You know, the library saw a need for this whole master plan, a reorganization of the library. The need came from a couple of things, a couple of factors that were coming together all at once. One was some really interesting changes to the neighborhood here. With the Medical Mart coming and the whole attitude towards redesigning and repurposing the mall, there was an opportunity to place the library again in the sort of center of gravity of the city as it shifts more towards this area. The library wanted to take advantage of that shifting center of gravity and become more of a focal point and a destination as people traveled from, say, Tower City to the new Medical Mart and the other activities that will be coming to the mall. So one factor was the change in the center of gravity of the city. The other one is the change in demographics, not only nationally but certainly in the city. Unemployment is higher. The needs of the population are changing. The importance of generating new job skills, being able to access information digitally, all of these things are dramatically changing the demographics of the city and the needs of the population. And the library wanted to change its physical organization to better address those needs. I think the most visible changes are in the lowest level of the Louis Stokes wing. The old AV department has been vacated in anticipation of the new TechCentral, where the concentration of computers will be. That will go into construction soon, and that will be the most visible change that will be seen from 2011 and the early part of 2012. The other significant visible change is great new signage, directional signage to help the library patrons understand that these changes are underway and some of the new organization that they'll be seeing in the months to come. The thought behind the master plan was to make the library more user-friendly and more accessible. And one of the first and important steps is to create TechCentral. And that's a concentration of all the computers in one area. And why is that different? Currently, computers are distributed around the library. And knowing which computer is available is hard for a patron. They have to wait and find which computer they will be assigned to. And once they're there, they may or may not be near someone who can help them with the technology that they're faced with. The idea of TechCentral is to concentrate the computers in one area with available staff to help the patrons access the computers and understand the software and understand the internet connections, help guide them with their navigation, and finding an available computer when they're all concentrated in one room makes it so much easier for the patrons. So that's the initial and most important area of accessibility and convenience. The next one is to move the popular collection into Brett Hall, that wonderful grand space in the original library building that for years has been perhaps not as vital as it could be, but bringing the popular collection there creates just a whole new sense of life and activity in that Brett Hall. And it's going to be there for some period of time, perhaps not permanently, but certainly for a duration. And I think the patrons will find it so much more easily accessible because it's directly in front of the front door of the main library building. Some of the other changes that TechCentral will bring is sort of three things, I would say. One is we're designing TechCentral on a raised floor system, and what that does is allow tremendous flexibility in the arrangement of the workstations and the computer stations. The wiring will be under a raised floor, so they can the wires can be easily rearranged as the furniture might be rearranged and the workstations rearranged. So rather than having the wires in the wall or buried under the floor or coming through the ceiling, they're simply under an accessible floor system, so it's easily changed in the future, as of course we know technology will be changing as well. So that's one significant improvement and change that will be coming. The other thing TechCentral, and this is a very exciting thing, TechCentral will include a technology sort of a technology bar in a sense, where new technologies will be displayed on a counter, like a retail arrangement, where new laptops, tablets, even cell phones, perhaps digital cameras can be displayed, and patrons can come and experiment with them. They can try out new physical technologies and be guided through the use of them by the library staff. It will be, I think, a great opportunity for the patrons, for the community, to access technology, to experiment with technology that they might not encounter anywhere before. And this counter, this display, will allow that technology to be changed easily, so as the newest products come out, they can be displayed and the patrons can hold them, experiment with them, use them, and really get a sense of what is available to them for their needs. A third thing that will happen in TechCentral is the computer stations aren't all just typical workstations. There's a variety of workstations. Some people may choose to sit down and have a long session at a computer, and that will be a fairly traditional workstation with a wide work surface and a typical keyboard and so forth. But some people want to use a computer in a very short transaction. So there will be a sort of a raised counter where laptops will be available and sort of taller stools for seating, and that area will be made for quick transactions where you just want to get a little bit of information and then go on your way. And then a third area will be where these laptops will be grouped around a table so that 3 or 4 people may be able to come together and sort of work together around a table. Again, in a short transaction, sort of high stools, and have a quick conversation around computers in a collaboration type environment. A couple of the changes coming up are really going to help make the library a downtown destination, and one of the significant ones is visibility. You know, the library, this grand, wonderful building, there's very little about its exterior that tells people it's a library. The signage is a little modest, and the character of the architecture doesn't necessarily convey in itself that it's a library. So one of the changes coming up will be to increase the visibility by increasing the signage. We are experimenting with ideas for banners on the outside of the building so that you can see something from a long distance away. And then as you get closer, there will be indications in the exterior vitrines, those low windows that face the street. There will be digital signage that will be visible through those glass panels, and there will be rotating kinds of digital images so that current exhibitions and opportunities in the library can be seen by the pedestrians on the sidewalk. There will be banners on the light poles. There will be opportunities for digital signage, sort of podiums along the sidewalk that will also be able to be interactive and changing so that people driving by, people walking by will realize that there's a library that is current and active and vital just inside the doors. Well, the master plan has some exciting opportunities coming up in the months and years ahead. One of them is a new children's area. The master plan projects that to be on the entire second floor of the Louis Stokes wing. So it'll be significantly expanded, and it'll have the opportunity for a greater variety of access to material for the children, and entirely new furniture and a dynamic new spatial arrangement that will really, I think, entice children and their parents to really ignite an excitement about books. And I think that will be a wonderful new change for the library. Another soon to happen is greater exhibition space. The library already has so many wonderful exhibits, and by expanding that opportunity in the library, I think that will make it more of a destination space, more accessible, and more user-friendly, and frankly a more exciting space to have these exhibition areas for rotating and new kinds of exhibits. Another great result of the master plan down the road is a new teen center. And so many libraries across the country are focusing on this age group and doing things that allow teens to interact and engage the library in a so much more exciting way than has been done traditionally. There may be opportunities for new technology, not just computers, but perhaps using interactive Wii-type technology for some exciting group activities. There may be opportunities to create music in the teen center, using new digital technology for creating music, and of course all the other video games and other kinds of things that will bring teens to the library in a way that they can access the library and engage the library, and really set the stage for becoming lifelong learners as they grow and move beyond the teen center.